Hi everyone, I'm Eric Woodall, the Producing Artistic Director of North Carolina Theater. On behalf of our President and CEO, Elizabeth Doran, and everyone at North Carolina Theater, we welcome you to this episode of Stargazing. Stargazing is a North Carolina Theater fundraising effort combined with an opportunity to look back, to gaze at some of the amazing stars who have been a part of past NCT productions. We wanted to let you know that the guests that you're about to see in this episode taped their messages well over a month ago, which will explain why none of them acknowledge the evolving state of our country. We encourage you to follow them on social media for their thoughts and expressions. Thank you for continuing to support North Carolina Theater, and please enjoy this episode of Stargazing. Our first guest has appeared in 3 Broadway productions, including starring as Catherine in the original production of Disney's Newsies, as well as in Beautiful. She's also had a lengthy run as Glenda in Wicked. So that means she has flown on stage in a bubble and with an umbrella. Please enjoy Keira Lindsey.
For a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always have to know. Supercalifragilistic, 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 supercalifragilistic. Feed the birds, that's what she cries, while overhead her birds fill the sky.
Hi, this is Keira Lindsey. I played Mary Poppins in the 2016 production of Mary Poppins at North Carolina Theater, and it was the time of my life. I had such a blast. It was a very short rehearsal time, and I'll never forget finally getting the choreography to Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That is involved. Thank you, Ryan Kasperzak. But my cast and I, we would work really, really hard in our hotel rooms, and we finally got it. And I'm so proud of us. And it's still in my brain. So maybe we'll whip it out in the living room in quarantine. But I'm sending Raleigh all of my love right now, and the theater community in North Carolina and our entire theater community around the world. This is a very hard time for us, and for everybody. So I'm sending healing vibes and lots of love, and we will get through this. And I look forward to making many more wonderful memories on the stage with you. And I'm lifting you up, and you are in my heart, on my heart, and in my prayers. Mwah.
Our next guest appeared on Broadway as Tarzan. He has toured around the world, acting and singing in concerts, operas, and musicals. He's been lured to Raleigh several times to work at NCT, Theater Raleigh, and most recently, North Carolina Symphony. Please enjoy Nicholas Rodriguez.
Some enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you feel her call you across a crowded room, then fly to her side, and to make her your own, or all through your life you may dream all alone.
Hey there, it's Nicholas Rodriguez, and I just wanted to take a second to tell you how special North Carolina Theater is to me. I've done a lot of cool things in my life, but I owe a lot of it to North Carolina Theater. It was my very first audition when I moved to New York City in 2001, and I got my very first agent, and I got my equity card doing Footloose at North Carolina Theater, and with a lot of the original Broadway cast. It was amazing, thrown into the deep end, playing Ren in Footloose, and it just couldn't have been a more welcoming community of people from everyone of the staff at North Carolina Theater, the cast, and just the community of Raleigh. I've been back several times over the years. I did South Pacific, played cable there, and I've worked also at other places in the city as well. And I just have to say what a special, special community it is. And I'm incredibly impressed by the conservatory program. I remember young high school students that would work with us in South Pacific, and many of them have gone on to do multiple Broadway shows. John Arthur Green, Cody Williams, Jeremy Woodard, and it's just such an amazing, amazing program, and I'm impressed every time I get to go back. It gives me hope. It gives me hope that the community is going to come together and that we will all be back performing for one another and entertaining one another and enjoying life. So if there's anything that you can do to help contribute to keep this amazing tradition in Raleigh alive, please consider doing it. Take care, be safe.
Our next guest has appeared in 10 Broadway shows. 5 of those are Fosse shows, and 2 of them were directed and choreographed by Bob Fosse himself, which earned our next guest the esteemed title of being one of Fosse's dancers. Please enjoy Stephanie Pope Lofgren.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Pope Lofgren, and about a little over a year ago, I had the pleasure of playing the role of Tanya in North Carolina Theater's production of Mamma Mia, and I shared the stage with beautiful performers like Lulu Pickard and Lauren Kennedy Brady. We were directed by Eric Woodall. Now, I've known Eric since way back when he was one of the top casting directors in New York City. So when he invited me to come and be a part of his inaugural season as the artistic director of the North Carolina Theater, I jumped at the opportunity. I know how committed Eric is to not only theater, but specifically to the North Carolina theater community. Now, we are living in such challenging times right now, and people are debating over what is essential and what is not essential. But one thing that I think we can all agree on, theater is essential. The arts are essential, and especially live theater. So please join me in helping support the North Carolina Theater so it is around for year after year after year. Thank you.
Our next guest is a North Carolina native who has appeared in 4 Broadway shows, including Cabaret and Chicago. She's had an amazing film and television career, starring in such shows as NYPD Blue, Desperate Housewives, and Dynasty. She's been nominated for 3 Primetime Emmy Awards. She also has starred in many productions at North Carolina Theater, including playing Guinevere opposite Terrence Mann in the North Carolina Theater inaugural production of Camelot. Please enjoy Broadway and television star Sharon Lawrence.
I'm Sharon Lawrence, and I'm going to tell you a story about my time on stage at the North Carolina Theater when I played Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady. My Fair Lady is a show about class, and a linguist professor, Henry Higgins, believes that he can change a person's life by changing how they speak. Eliza is a poor girl who sells flowers, and she talks like this, a Cockney accent, you know. And she says, the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains. Well, he teaches her during that famous song to speak properly. The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains. After that number, Eliza has a quick change. She has to get into a costume to show up at a fancy event where his theory, Henry Higgins' theory, will be proved right. He has taught her to introduce herself by saying, how kind of you to let me come, and fooling everyone. That gown that Eliza wears, it was made famous by Audrey Hepburn when she wore it in the movie, the white lace gown with the black bow sash and the huge hat. They rented those gorgeous costumes for us, Deanne Jones did, and I was so proud to wear that gown, but that night the zipper broke. Who knows why, but it did. But the backstage costume crew worked fast, and they pinned me into that dress. Now, it meant I was going to be late for my entrance by what seemed like an eternity, and everybody on stage was waiting for me. And by the time I flew in to take my place on stage and introduce myself, my adrenaline was so high. Any of you guys have been on stage when this has happened. You know how terrifying it is. All I could think to say was, instead of, "How kind of you to let me come," all I could think to say was, "Thanks for inviting me." I guess the motto is, you can dress a Southern girl up in a fancy hat and teach her to speak properly. But when push comes to shove, she might still end up sounding like Minnie Pearl. Push comes to shove, it's happening right now for all of us. The North Carolina Theater needs your support now more than ever. Musical theater is not just a luxury. It is how we tell ourselves stories. It is an American art form. And it has provided enrichment for performers and audiences for over 30 years. Please give what you can. I'm doing that, and I look forward to seeing you on the stage and in the audience at the North Carolina Theater. Thanks for inviting me.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of North Carolina Theater Stargazing. If you are able to make a contribution at this time, please visit www.nctheater.com. Thank you for your continued support of North Carolina Theater, and we look forward to seeing you next time for more Gazing at the Stars.